Hello everyone, this is Jono from Veracity with another video in my video series. This one on the analyzing your data theme, mostly analyzing your data, specifically on Veracity query language, or we call it VQL. This one is going to be a very high level overview. Down the road a little bit in these videos, I will do a bit of a deeper dive into how to use VQL for different use cases, but it's a pretty big topic. I talked about VQL in my last video about manipulating data when you are forwarding between LRSs. Check out that one. I'll put the link in the description. And I thought I should talk a little bit, at least at a high level, about what VQL is. So that's what this video is. VQL is based on the Mongo aggregation pipeline. I'll also throw a link in the description to the Mongo aggregation pipeline. It does help to get just a general understanding of how this works and what the format looks like. It will help you out with VQL, although we have a whole set of documentation as well on the subject. We differ from the aggregation pipeline in a couple different ways. And one way, I won't go through all of them, but one way it's very important is the LRS, depending on your particular installation that you are using, may also use our analytics acceleration database, Elasticsearch. And VQL is smart. It knows which database to ask the question of to get the answer back more quickly. Some things Mongo is really good at, some things Elasticsearch is really good at, and if you use the VQL language, you don't have to worry about that. It will just decide where and how to answer that question for you. So very powerful. VQL is actually going to be in support of the analytics package. You can use it when you are writing the dashboard plugins. You can use it on access keys. You can use it in forwarding rules. There's a lot of places that it is used in our system. So especially for advanced use cases, getting a good understanding of how it works is going to help you out quite a bit. Let's jump into a quick demo. I'm going to go into an LRS that I have used recently in these demonstrations, the Learner Portal Demo LRS that I have set up here. And on the left-hand side here under Management, I'm going to click All Management Tools. And then you'll see something here called the Analytics Debugger. I want to click on that. All right, great. So this is a really neat environment that we could do its own 5-minute video on, and maybe I'll jot that down and do it in the future. But here is where you can see example VQL, build your own VQL and run it, and actually figure out issues with your VQL. So it's a great place to do this work. So on the left-hand side, you see we have some pre-built examples. Let's just go to the first one, click on Score Over Time. And you'll see it kind of comes up here. This in this pane is the VQL. I'm going to focus kind of on this pane and this right-hand pane where the graph is now. In other sessions, we'll get into some of the other stuff down here below. Okay, so what this is saying, I moved that around. Okay, so what this is saying is filter based on a particular object ID. This is in our sample data. And then what we want to do is we want to make a time series. We're going to use the timestamp value in an XAPI statement. Our span, so we're kind of the buckets that we're going to use are daily. The metric that we're going to average and put on the time series is the score scaled. And then there's some information down here about how we render it and what is shown on the screen. So pretty simple one. Again, I'm not going to go into the details yet of how to build these, but you get the idea. It's a JSON object that has different properties that you can use to basically build a query and then render it in some way on the screen. So what's great about this environment is, let's say I wanted to change something in here. Let's say I don't want to look at this by the timestamp when it happened. I want to look at it via the XAPI stored value. And just change this. I can rerun it here with the little button, and we've kind of real-time made an update to what we're visualizing here. Let's say I want to change the span. You know what? I'm going to make an error. Let's say I thought that I could do this weekly. I want to do that into weekly buckets, into daily buckets. Notice already I'm getting a little squiggly line here, right? I want to try to run it anyway. Yeah, it didn't work. If I come over here to the Issues tab and I click on that, value is not accepted. Valid values are hourly, daily, or monthly. Okay. Let's do monthly. Rerun it. And, now we have no issues. Go back to the render tab. There we go. So now this is bucketed up by month instead of how it was when I initially came in here and looked at it daily. You can save these. When they're saved, they save to your saved scripts, and you can use them in all kinds of ways in the LRS. But I think for now, I think that's a good start of, come in here if you're interested in VQL, look through these examples, run them, modify them, look at the issues, see what's going on. That'll really help you get started a lot. I want to point out one other thing as far as getting started goes. Under our resources, under Users Manual, if you come in here and do a search for VQL, you'll get a VQL article. This is a really good place to start as well. It's got an overview of what it is, how it works, how to filter data, all the operators, sorting and pagination, and etc., etc. You can see this goes on and on with good examples. So between the examples that you can run live in the LRS and this documentation and the MongoDB aggregation pipeline link that, again, I'll share in the description, but I showed a little bit ago, that's a really good starting point for VQL. Again, very powerful tool in the Veracity LRS for power users. We're going to get into probably a whole video series on VQL down the road, but again, I wanted to, because I referenced it in the last video a few times, I wanted to do a quick overview of what VQL is and how you can actually play with it in your LRS a little bit. All right, we're going to go ahead and call it there for today. So if you like this video, click the like button or subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a good one.